allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Bryan Board of Public Affairs regular meeting for June 18th, 2019. First on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the May 30th, 2019 special joint meeting and the June 4th, 2019 regular meeting. Board, you've been furnished with minutes from those if there are any corrections.
I see no additions or corrections, Jim. I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Next is a hearing of public concerns. Seeing none, move on to the clerk treasurer's report.
The board's been presented with the clerk treasurer's report for the month ending May 31st, 2019.
I'd like to make a motion we accept the clerk treasurer's report.
I'll second.
Karen?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Next is a request to adjust cable television rates. Lori, would you number and read this?
Resolution number 27, 2019, revising Bryan Communications Department Rate Addendum Exhibit A Cable Television Rate Schedule.
We brought this information for your consideration at a recent BPA meeting, and recommendation here hasn't changed. You have before you a summary of it. It's what's shown up there on the screen as well. The basic rate would increase $4 per month under the proposed amendment to the rate schedule. Extended basic by $4 per month, and digital basic by $1 per month. Now the exception to that would be that if you take extended basic and one of our internet services, then your extended basic rate would not change. It would stay at $71.74 per month.
So we're offering an incentive for bundling that.
That's correct. That's correct.
Well, like Kevin said, I guess this was set up originally to be reviewed at the last meeting, and I guess I was probably a good part of the reason that it was postponed to this meeting. And I guess my reason for that was the portion of this that we were going to be absorbing, and I guess that was a concern to me, and I guess mainly a concern because the way the broadcasting charges have been going up.
Programming.
Yes.
Fees.
I was concerned after the first of the year that it might come back to bite us, that we'd have a substantial increase and then have this on top of it.
Right.
But I guess in studying it, in talking, I guess I'm comfortable with it, however the board feels about this increase.
This is my understanding that programming rates actually went up $8. And we're actually going to split that with the customers. We're going to, I don't want to say eat the $4, we're going to subsidize the $4.
Well, they went up $8 between January 1 of 2018 and January 1 of 2019.
Correct.
Now, you did do some adjustments last year, but the big one that hit us beginning in May was that charge for Fox 36,
Correct.
which increased by $3.50 just for that single channel. But as part of the agreement, then we had to take Bounce and Escape at another $3.50. So just those 3 channels increased your programming cost by $7 per month. And the board may recall, I think, Joe, at that time we increased rates $3.75, if I remember right. So we didn't recover the whole cost there. So what you're collecting here now will help us recover the rest of that cost, as well as some increases that we saw the first of this year.
Yeah.
But I think it's a tough row that you guys have to hoe here. We see those large increases, and it's tough to ask local consumers, I think, to take it at the same chunks that you get. $8 a month is a lot of money. So if we can split these things up, see if we can get some growth back with both the cable television and internet services, then we may be able to mitigate some of this going forward. But I think what we're presenting here, we don't like to do it any more than you like to act on it. But, if you take a look at the financials for the communications utility through May, it's a $2 million plus a year operation, and we've only got a positive margin of something like $24,000 or $27,000. That's 1%.
Yeah.
So we've got to do something here. We've got to start generating some cash to be able to do capital improvements as well.
Well, if it's $8, I see 4 with basic and 4 with extended.
I'm sorry.
You said $8?
Yeah. Well, no, actually the programming costs, am I right, Joe, by saying programming costs have went up $8
Yeah.
overall for those channels?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You got 4 in basic as an proposed rate increase and 4 in extended basic.
Am I saying that right, Joe? I'm not sure if I'm explaining that right.
No, it was $8, $4 rate increase for the 2 separate services. It's just that the majority of the increase is on the basic side, so that goes up $4. If they have expanded basic, which includes the basic programming, that goes up $4. So
There's your 8.
which is 50% of the programming cost that was given to us the first year.
Correct.
I just don't know how long we can keep getting half back of every increase that we incur. I don't know how long we can stand that.
And I'm sure we're going to have to deal with this at the beginning of next year, depending on
Right.
how hard the thieves push us up against the wall. They've been doing it every year.
I did
Hate
see-
to do it. I mean, I hate to.
Yeah.
What do you do?
We can only absorb so much of it.
Right.
Can you explain the half that we're just getting back?
Well, the $4 that's in the extended basic covers that in the basic. So it's not $8 more. It's $4 more for either one of those services. So whether you're taking just basic or you're taking an extended basic, each one of those increases by 4. You don't increase 8 if you're taking an extended basic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But with the number of people we have, it just seems like it balances out.
Well, it certainly helps. It certainly will help.
And then the $1 for the digital basic too.
Right.
Do we know how much we have absorbed over the years?
Well,
How many times we have done that?
Well, I would say that looking at the margin, the positive margin, what would be profit otherwise in private business, has decreased from probably about $500,000 a year, Joe, down to where we're not making much. As I mentioned, this year, we're only at about $25,000, $27,000 through 5 months this year. So most of that has been because of these programming cost increases. It hasn't been because of additional bandwidth costs. That's relatively low compared to these costs. Our programming bill is $60,000 or more a month, right?
That's just NCTC.
Yeah.
It's about
Right, that's right.
It's just, I think, just over $1 million a year we pay for programming.
just for programming.
Out of about $2 million total operating cost.
If you look at some of the charges on those bills that we signed before the meeting with some of these channels,
Oh, yeah.
charge us, it's
Horrendous.
it's horrible.
And I know all the big subscribers, all the big, cable providers are getting whacked the same thing, only they're big. It's easier for them to absorb that. A little tougher for us. I hate to do that. It just bothers me every time we have to ask for a rate increase.
Well, we do try to take a look at how our rates compare with others, and we believe we're still competitive. So I think if we start getting out of whack, because just as you said, every cable operator or satellite provider faces those increases in programming
We're going to
costs.
pass them on.
So they can't just stay low and we end up being much higher than them. But we think taking a look at what information we have, and it's more difficult to do in this business because the norm is we offer you 6 months at a very discounted rate or 12 months, and then you go to a much higher rate. Our rate is the same the first month as it is the 12th month, something like that. So it doesn't change in that same way. But if we were twice as much, let's say, as other providers, then we wouldn't have very many customers left, I think. So I believe that we're being competitive here. I think Joe and his staff are doing a great job on both the cable television and the internet side with continually improving the service that we provide.
Right.
So,
What kind of subscribership would we have to have in order to not question whether we have a viable system?
well, I think if you started losing money, or you couldn't generate sufficient money to pay the O&M expenses and some level of capital improvements, then you'd have to take a look at your business model again.
And that's probably close to where we're at now, right?
Well, the internet subscribership is growing.
Yeah.
You know, since you've approved some of those changes and we've offered the higher speed internet service, we are actually gaining internet customers. And it appears to me, at least through this year, that the loss in cable customers is slower than what it has been at times in the past. And we're hoping here with offering this program where if you subscribe to multiple services and giving a discount for doing that, that will help keep or attract new customers. But it's a tough one. I think that, you know, with the place that we were coming from with our internet service was not a desirable internet service for a lot of folks. Now it's much more so. But I think those things take time to change as people, you know, want to see what you're really doing, whether you can sustain that in the long run and continue to improve it. But we are doing that, and Joe's got plans, including, you know, we're doing the outer loop rebuild this year, which not only serves internet and cable television, but a lot of our other utility services and municipal services as well. So I think we're in a pretty good position right now, and you know, this will certainly help us get a little bit better financially, I believe. The concern I have is if you do the $8, that it may have the opposite effect in setting people to go to other providers. So.
I agree, the internet service is much, much better.
Oh, it is.
Very happy with it.
Yeah, and Joe's got other things in the work to improve it even more, so.
Well, with regret, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 27.
I'll second.
Dick?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom? Karen?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is to review the Bard Centennial Fountain unbilled services per resolution number 38, 2013.
Good evening. As a municipal-owned electric, water, and communication system, we have the privilege of providing or supplying free or reduced below-cost utility services for public purposes. These figures get reported every year in the annual report, and we thought we would do a quick run-through on some of our unbilled services, as well as evaluate the Bard Centennial Fountain. So this graph shows the total overall unbilled utility services for all accounts. This is municipal, utility, street, parks, and any other public functions that we may provide for. This accounts for about $1,067,350 in 2018. This is a breakdown of the unbilled municipal utility services. As you can see, we provide services, street lights, traffic signals, utility departments, municipal departments and facilities, and parks, schools, and recreation. So city-owned facilities, it accounts for just over $1 million a year. And then we also have several public entities or events that we provide unbilled, or it's important to also understand that not all of it's free. Some of it is reduced. So, to Bryan City Schools, the crosswalk at Center and Marquis Street, the press box, football lights are a few of the examples. We have Williams County miscellaneous facilities, which tornado sirens at Bona Vista and County Road F. And then reduced costs on fiber connections at the courthouse and courthouse annex. So, which accounts for a total of $63,484 last year. So to give a little background, in 2014, the fountain was installed the northeast corner of the courthouse square by using donated funds to commemorate Bard Manufacturing Company's 100th anniversary. At that time, the Board of Public Affairs, there was a group that came and had asked the utilities to provide water and electric service. And so by resolution number 38, 2013, the board agreed to provide unbilled services for 20 years to be evaluated every 5 years for a maximum of $5,000 worth of service per year. In 2013, based on the information that was available with hours of operation and the rates that were in place at that time, the estimate was that the cost would be $3,539.50 per year. So since 2014, BMU has provided the services, and this would serve as the 5-year review that's required in the resolution. So this is the past 5 years worth of electric and water unbilled services to the fountain. It totals $21,812.04. Original estimates had the fountain cost of service, unbilled service, around $17,600, so about a difference of $4,100. And we took the 2018 consumption and applied it to the 2014 electric and water rates, and we still came up with $5,527. So, which caused us to do a little bit more investigation on why there was such a difference in what was estimated. And we found out that originally the fountain was estimated to operate from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily, 8 months out of the year. And it currently operates 24 hours a day, 7 to 8 months out of the year. From what I understand, there were timer issues. If there was a power outage or any sort of blip, it would mess up the timer. And also they had some logistical problems with turning it on and turning it off. In 2017 and 18, we had some weather impacts. And also last fall, the fountain had some equipment malfunction. One of the pumps malfunctioned and it kept cycling the water, which caused an increase in water-free service. So, and we've also had some electric and water rate changes since 2013 estimates. So, according to the resolution, there's a $5,000 free service cap. It does not say exactly what happens if you go over that $5,000. So this could serve a no action and serve as a 5-year review, or I don't know if you guys want to consider removing or increasing, or further discussion will be warranted. Questions?
So we haven't billed BART for those overages?
I'm
Who would-
sorry?
If it was over the 5,000, who would we bill anyways? Would it be BART?
I don't believe it
Did you
would
look
be
at that
barred.
resolution?
There was a,
Bryan
in the
Development.
article I read.
Bryan Development
Yeah,
Corporation.
that's it.
So the Bard Family Foundation, I believe, Kevin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, donated the funding to put it in. The commissioners allowed it to be placed where it's at. The Development Corporation agreed to take on the operations, so the chlorine, the filters, stuff like that. And then the Bryan Area Foundation will pay for major repairs through a special fund. But I don't believe that I think it's considered a public structure now, right? Because it's placed on.
Well, I believe the Bryan Development Foundation probably owns it now. So, but I don't believe there's anything that was presented to the board back then or in any kind of agreement that says who would pay if it exceeds that $5,000. Right.
Doesn't make sense if it was going to be, if we're going to cap it at 5, who would pay for those overages? That just doesn't make sense why it's even in there then.
Well, do you know the timer issues that they refer to? Is that the reason that it runs 24/7, or did somebody decide it would look nice to run 24/7, or do you know?
I talked to Dan real briefly last week because he was busy with the Jubilee, but from what I got is it was sensitive and it didn't take much for it to not work properly.
So then it was coming on and turning off at odd hours, is that the issue?
And that's what I understand. Or not coming on.
I have to wonder if that timer issue had been dealt with. Maybe we wouldn't have this overage that we're talking about.
Yeah, that was my concern, because when they talked about it originally, when they passed the resolution for us to give them mail-billed services, it was projected from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now it's running 24 hours a day.
Now, I will say in 2018, off the top of my head, I should have brought this, I haven't in my office, but if the fountain wouldn't have malfunctioned, they would have only been over by around $100. But they had an excessive amount of water because by the time it was caught, then they had to drain it and refill it.
Okay. But this other organization, excuse me, this other organization that you referred to,
Bryan Development Foundation?
yeah, they're the ones that are responsible for the maintenance of the equipment and pumps and things like that. Is that right? But they weren't.
Filters, chlorine,
Yeah.
cleaning.
So did they not replace the timer? Is that? I mean, I guess, I may be asking you questions you don't have an answer to, but it's just something that's in the back of my mind, I have to wonder.
I agree, I wonder as well. I think it's something that should be checked into and consider replacing and get it back to the original state where we agreed upon.
Or adjust the hours,
Yeah.
you know, instead of 24.
Yeah.
I'm okay with maybe an hour or two difference in the original.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the Scrooge to come out and say, well, shut her down, but if it's not being maintained, and if we're seeing an overage here on the electrical usage, maybe it needs to be looked into.
Is there any way we can contact them and ask them those questions?
Absolutely, and we can get you more information.
Okay.
And Dan at the chamber runs the fountain essentially, right?
Right.
Yeah, through the Development Foundation.
And they have volunteers really that do most of that work on the fountain as far as taking care of the chemical balance and the filters and things like that.
I think I'd like to see that.
Yeah. I think we should just table it for next meeting and get some more answers and whys.
I got a question, Norm, I'm gonna put you on the spot. They're using between 40 and 50,000 gallons of water each year. Is that much evaporation? I mean, or where's all that water
You
from?
did put me on the spot because I have no idea that.
I mean,
I'd
a
have
lot
to
of
look
that's
into it.
got to be evaporation. I mean,
Because I'm sure there is quite a bit of evaporation, but I wouldn't have guessed it would have been that much.
yeah.
You get a little bit of wind blow too, and then it lowers at high speed. So the speed of wind comes down, so not so much blows out. But I thought the thing was only a 4,000 gallon fountain to begin with, and it just recirculates the 4,000 gallons.
And that was my thought. Where's this 40, 50,000 gallons of water going?
Does it have a leak?
I don't know.
They did have, when they opened it this year, they did have a major leak. Yes. And they did fix it right away.
Yeah. Thanks, Norm.
Well, there's no action required by the board tonight, but Dawn can get some
you can
additional
get
information
some of
and bring
those
it to you for your consideration.
facts for us, you know,
Next meeting.
those questions.
I'll write it down
for you. If they would work with us and maybe adjust those hours again, instead of 24. Because I don't have a problem with supporting.
And that was kind of the agreement, I think, from the get-go, is how it was going to be operated.
Great. Thanks, Norm.
Okay. Next on the agenda, request to place an electric staff member on regular employment status.
Employee we're discussing tonight is J.J. Roop or Justin Roop. He's been with the department since 2011. Great employee, shows a lot of leadership skills, is very proficient in the bucket and climbing poles. He is a member of the Bryan rodeo team. Also, he meets all the requirements, you know, that we feel that a line worker 4 should possess. He's a great asset to the department and is going to be one leader here in the future for us. So, with that being said, I'd like to ask to put J.J. Roop on regular employment status. Any questions?
He's a good man.
All right.
He's well-liked and well-respected.
Very.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen?
Yep.
Darrell?
Yes.
Next is a request to hire a probationary power plant department staff member.
Due to the retirement of Matt Killian, we need to hire a power production superintendent. At this time, we respectfully request to fill this position with Jim Caruso. Jim Caressel is currently the Assistant Power Production Superintendent. If you recall, the board created this position a little over a year and a half ago to help with the succession plan to prepare for Matt's retirement. So Jim has done a fantastic job in the last year, jumping in and learning both the power plant and the Oglaze facility, and pretty much helped with continue to develop the team, and they're still working very well together. I believe with Jim in this position, we will see very little problems or concerns in the transition.
I know I've talked to Matt about, you said he's doing a fantastic job. We were grateful to have him, especially to mentor under you.
Yeah, good fun.
With that, I'll make a motion. We hire Jim as our superintendent.
I'll second.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Karen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next is a request to hire a part-time power plant staff member.
Correct. Recently, we had the part-time power plant employee retire, and he ended, I think, the end of May. So for the last 30 days, the power plant superintendent and assistant power production superintendent have been doing the evening and weekend checks. At this time, we respectfully request to hire Matt Killian as the part-time power plant operator to fill the need for the evening and weekend power plant checks. It will help Matt's skill sets and abilities to repair things in the middle of the night, will allow him to take care of some smaller issues, and instead of shutting units off until regular business hours, they'll be able to fix those during that call-in period.
That couldn't have been a more perfect fit because Buffalo Bob retired.
Right.
So they don't have anybody down there to do the checks. And I'm assuming that we have to either put the power plant operators on call to do it, which is going to cost a lot of money.
It would either be that or we would have to go back to a 24/7 operation.
Right. This way, Matt's 5 minutes away, and who knows the place better than Matt?
Correct.
And you're going to have standby pay, and you're going to have call-out pay. if you
Correct.
have to.
Yeah.
And and Jim actually and Tim met with the power plant employees and spoke with them about this and about rehiring Matt, just to make sure that everybody, was not going to make sure nobody had any heartburn, basically.
Yeah.
And they were all very happy to have him back as a member of the team.
Yeah. Sweet. With that, I'll make a motion to rehire Matt for part-time.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Told you you weren't going anywhere.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah. And next is recognition and appreciation of years of service for Mr. Killian.
Matt, you want to come up? With the board's permission, we normally do these things at the retirement party, but we thought we'd like to do it here with you folks tonight, if that's okay. Come on up. Let's come right over here, where they can get a bead on you. Our staff put together a PowerPoint presentation. I think you guys have that. If you don't, we'll get it for you. But it was 17 pages. So I thought that probably would try your patience going through all of those. So, I kind of took a look through those things, added some of my own thoughts about this, Matt. And so I'm going to share that with everybody here tonight, if that's okay with you. Matt has served as BMU's power production superintendent since May 5th, 2008, so that's a little more than 11 years. And I want to say managing BMU's generating facilities requires intensive preparation work. You must work each day to ensure to the best of your ability that if the power goes out or a peak demand period occurs, that all of the generating units are available and they're able to generate at full capacity. If they don't, it can cost local consumers literally millions of dollars, or in the event of a power outage to our community, it brings our community to a virtual standstill. Matt, in my opinion, has done a remarkable job of ensuring reliable operation of our generating units when we need them, and has also sought ways to improve generator energy production and efficiencies. He's orchestrated numerous upgrades to the Auglaize hydroelectric plant turbines and generators. The Auglaize hydroelectric plant is a renewable energy resource that generates nearly every day throughout the year. Not every day, but most days. And in fact, last year we had the second highest energy production that we've had. Okay, and he'll tell you it was just a lucky water year, but I will tell you it's more than just luck. Okay, we generated more than 11,664,000 kilowatt hours in 2018. That's enough to supply the energy needs for 1,217 typical Bryan residences for a year. For a year, okay? So it's a lot of power. Matt has worked to certify all 6 of those Auglaize hydroelectric plant units as renewable energy resource generating facilities through the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. That allowed us this year to sell $65,000 worth of renewable energy certificates, or RECs, that were generated by the Auglaize, that we wouldn't have gotten if Matt hadn't orchestrated that. By operating the Auglaize hydroelectric plant during peak demand periods last year, we reduced transmission and capacity costs to local consumers by an estimated $290,000 this year. That's just with the Auglaize project. Okay? So that's almost $300,000 that we would otherwise be running through our power supply cost adjustment and collecting from local customers. The BMU power plant includes 3 1960s and 70s vintage combustion turbines and a 1948 Nordberg diesel generator. As you might expect, keeping these units in reliable operating condition is challenging. Simply procuring replacement parts can present a significant challenge. However, these units are of critical importance to our community. They provide emergency backup, as we mentioned, in the event that the Marquis Corridor, our high voltage transmission line that connects Bryan to American Electric Power's transmission system, if that goes down. In addition, without these generating assets, local power supply costs would be approximately 40% higher this year than what they will be. Okay. Operating all of these units during peak electric demand periods, along with voluntary customer conservation efforts, results in significant savings on local electric bills. And for example, the 2019 transmission savings due to operating the power plant, the Auglaize, and the Bryan solar field operations are $2,887,156. That's just the transmission. The capacity savings from operating these units is another $1,495,166, or a total of $4.38 million. Now our AMP bill, we're expecting to be about $10.5 million this year. Add $4.5 million to that, and that's what you're talking about that we'd have to recover from this community. That is a significant amount of money that remains in the Bryan economy each year due to the fine work done by Matt and his staff. So I will say, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that.
You guys, you know,
got fine folks.
Our whole BMU and everyone contributes to that, because they're always there to help when we need them. So.
Absolutely, it is a real team effort.
It is.
And you know, you are the point person, you are the team leader. You know what the standard is, or the tone that has to be set there to make this stuff work. It doesn't happen by accident.
Right. It doesn't.
That with that vintage equipment, that you hit all of those coincident peaks the last year or two there.
Yeah.
So on behalf of Bryan Municipal Utilities and all of those that we serve, thank you for the outstanding work that has helped make our community a better place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Got a little something here for you as well. It doesn't have a handle on it, so
No.
it won't drop
All
out.
right, very cool. All right. Oh,
Very nice.
thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
That way you won't be late for
congratulations,
work.
Matt.
That's right.
I can sleep in now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt.
And I'd like to say, I just don't think a lot of us know and appreciate everything that you have done, Matt. But I've had nothing but the greatest respect for you. And I thought we were gonna have a real big problem trying to replace you, but gratefully we got Jim.
You got it.
But thanks for your dedication.
It's quality people like you that make this place work.
Yep.
There's a lot of us here.
And, you know, you got some good operators and good people at the plant,
Yeah.
but it's your leadership that makes it work.
And you've always supported, the board's always supported us. So.
Yeah.
And that's important because we do spend some big dollars.
Unfortunately, the power plant, you know, the dam, their toys are expensive. Their parts ain't little and cheap.
It's a good investment.
Well,
The return
it
on the
pays-
investment's
yep,
been
It pays off.
so.
Well, try to get in some boating and fishing.
When the weather clears up.
Oh, yeah.
Stops raining.
If it ever stops raining. But congratulations. Next on the agenda is to affect semi-monthly disbursements. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
So,
Second.
Dick?
yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
And comments from BP and staff. Jerry?
Congratulations, Matt. And great to have you back. That's all I really got for tonight.
I was going to say the identical same thing. Enjoy your partial retirement and welcome back. That's all I have.
Karen?
Well, I wanted to congratulate everybody for having an outstanding time period from over the last 2 weeks to accomplish no then and nows on the payables. It's a good, wise choice of having funds appropriated and good choice of using what has been appropriated and planning out your budget accordingly. So congratulations, that's very, very good. It's, again, admirable and great accomplishment, I think. It's tough to do. That's all I'd like to say.
Just again, congratulations to Matt and good luck in your semi-retirement. Good to have you back too.
Okay.
Yeah, just a couple of things. The 2018 annual report has been completed. You have a copy there in front of you. Eric Herman really did all the heavy lifting on that, doing the design and the layout, the editing. All of the superintendents helped with drafting the reports for each of their areas there, and a number of other staff assisted as well. I think it turned out pretty good this year. The bids were open for the industrial drive substation equipment, and it appears, now they're still going through them and tabulating, but it appears that we're very close to what the engineer's estimated cost was, so that's good news. I was a bit concerned with the strong economy that we might see significantly higher equipment costs, but it doesn't appear that that has been the case. We also received sealed proposals Friday for the automated metering infrastructure system, and those are a bit more complex, so it's going to take a little while to sort through those things. So those are being reviewed by Value Tech Solutions right now, and we'll be providing additional information as it becomes available. So that was all I had for you this evening, unless you have questions for me.
Lori?
Welcome back, Matt.
Department heads, anybody?
Give a little update on the line clearance program. We have completed Cherry Street substation circuits and Baker Street substation circuits, which Baker has the hospital and critical infrastructure on it. So them circuits has been completed. We did move him out to Daggett, and he worked on that a little bit, and then we moved him back out to Curtin to hit a kind of a hot area, I'll call that, out on Rachel Heights. So we're roughly halfway through our budget money this year, and we're already halfway through our distribution circuits. So we will be seeing an additional crew come in for a couple weeks and go out on the Marcus corridor and start trimming that also. So we'll right on pace for what we anticipated with our tree trimming program here. So
what I've seen of what they're doing, it looks like they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Thorough.
Yeah, I think they are too. And I think it's helpful to have Court too, you know, doing the customer interface there. And that's helped considerably, I think.
Court and Adam, they both are keeping, I know Fleming calls Adam every morning, tells him he's here, and when he's not here, he calls him, so very good communication between them and Court also, so.
Have we had an S1 before?
No,
I don't know.
not in my time here.
Sounds like they're good outfit. Anybody else? Max?
Matt, would you mind giving an update on the Nordberg diesel oxidation catalyst?
Sure.
Real quick, if you don't
We're
mind.
on, the catalyst is installed. We're on track to do our EPA testing on Tuesday next week. We're going to run a test run Monday next week with the catalyst removed. You know, we do have some residue, high sulfur fuel in the fuel lines and stuff. The tank's been pumped dry, repaired, patched, and we're filling that with some ultra low sulfur diesel now. So once we do our test runs, we're going to take some measurements and some back pressure flows and see how we're doing. And then the full-blown EPA test will be done on Tuesday. So power plant compliance is coming in to conduct the test. They'll test for the CO, and we have to do a CO test every 3 years and a one-time NOx test. So we're going to do the NOx test on top of this also. So hopefully everything will go well, and the engine runs well, and we'll be home free and ready to peak shave then. So they give us, with the oxidation catalyst, I think it's 256 hours of operations, and now more than will cover our peak shaving season. So that's an additional 2.5 megawatts. So that adds up. So, like Kevin has said, you know, for some reason we're dry at All Glaze or something, and that's about what we get out All Glaze on our peak shaving. Nordberg can offset those costs. Yeah. So it's a good thing. So,
Great.
any questions?
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt.
All I can add is, Matt, one more time, congratulations. Enjoy your retirement as you can.
Yeah, plan to.
No, I'm sure you will. Good for you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.